and stay ahead.
All right, and of course, with all that you want more money, plenty money, we welcome you to Every Cent Counts right here on New Era TT Radio. And of course, it is a Monday morning, a beautiful Monday morning. It is on the outside. And of course, our host in between here is none other than Garth Thomas. Whenever Garth is here on a Monday, you know it is a great time we're going to have, right? So, Mr. Thomas, a great Monday morning to you.
And a great Monday morning to you, Sir Charles, and to all our listeners out there in New Era TT Radio Land. It's carnival time, Sir Charles.
Yeah. The things start.
It's the time of year that most Trinities look forward to more than Christmas, more than Easter, more than Mother's Day. All right. And as for Valentine's Day, I don't know. I feel Valentine's Day in trouble this year, you know.
Well, it has been right in the heart of the thing from before, you know.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. But it's a great morning. It's a great place. And today we have with us in the studio the chief evangelist. Well, I think it's some crusade coming. The chief evangelist of Vibes Caribbean. And he has some stuff to tell us about. And later on in the show, we are hoping that Dave Cooper, who was with me last week, who is a wire bender and an educator, and who is a degreed person and who is pioneering the adaptation and the inclusion as a vital part of our educational experience, the culture, the roots of the culture, and leaning toward experiential education. Every time I say that word, I have to qualify it because I say experiential, but people is here experimental, but it's two different words. Experimental is when you're trying out a thing. Experiential is learning by doing, and that is by far the most effective way to learn. And Dave is championing that cause in the context of our culture. So we're real on focus with the culture this morning, Sir Charles.
Oh, well, that is good. I see somebody also trying to connect. I see a name, Cassie. Are you expecting that person to?
Well, I don't know. Maybe
I don't know if
maybe
Dave
that's Dave because he was
another device. Well, if he is whoever is using that device, say Dave, if it's you, because I can't talk to him directly off the air, you need to go back out and allow for the access to your camera and microphone, and then you'll be able to join the broadcast. If you don't do that, we can't get you inside.
Yeah, right. So, Sir Charles, I thought we'd start off the program this morning. I wanted to read from, it's a little while now I haven't read from one of my favorite texts. You know what that is? That is Creating Affluence by Dr. Deepak Chopra.
Yes.
By Chopra, MD. And in chapter 1, he talks about the source of all abundance. And he says, affluence is the experience. See, we're talking experiential. Affluence is the experience in which our needs are easily met and our desires spontaneously fulfilled. We feel joy, health, happiness, and vitality in every moment of our existence. Affluence is reality. And the true purpose of this book is to give us an insight into the nature of reality. And he goes on, I always have to exercise a lot of willpower not to continue reading when I'm reading his book, because thing flows so beautifully. But we're talking about affluence because we are talking about one of the wealthiest experiences that any Trini could get. And that is the experience of Carnival. I don't think people think of it as a wealthy experience. But I was speaking to a guy yesterday and I was showing to him the differentiation between wealth and riches. There are three things that I lump together, and perhaps another time we could explore those three things. Wealth and riches, mind and brain. All right? And what is the third one, boy? It will come back to me just now. It's wealth and riches, mind and brain. Well, it's gone out of my mind for the moment, but we'll come back. But energy and matter. That's the third one. Energy and matter. Those three things have something in common, such as wealth and riches, energy and matter, and what was the other one I called? Brain and mind. Yes, brain and mind. I have to check and see if all you're really paying attention.
That's a nice way of putting it.
You like it?
Yes.
All right. But if you look at it closely, such as you realize I'm talking all the time about tangibles and intangibles. And this is what Chopra is talking about here. So when I say that Carnival is perhaps one of the wealthiest times of the year, I'm not talking about the band leaders who make a whole lot of money or the artists who don't do too badly. I mean, this is perhaps their best time of the year. That is riches. I am talking about, I was listening last night to a replay of an Independence broadcast with David Rudder. Oh man, alive. I was so happy I came across that. I got you couldn't get all your Rudder music in one show. But, we had Bacchanal 1, Bacchanal 2, Bacchanal 3, and so on. We had the Hammer and so many of the other powerful Rudder music. But it is that is the richness, that is the wealth of which I speak, because the vibration is very powerful. And we have on the show here this morning, Vibes Caribbean, the chief evangelist himself, Adrian Baker. And Adrian, I know you have some stuff cooking, literally cooking for the Carnival, especially for Ash Wednesday. So tell us a little bit about Vibes Caribbean. I really like the way how it sounds, It is almost, maybe it is even more powerful than the word carifta, all right, or caricom, or those are the words that we talk about when we talk about Caribbean unity. Vibes Caribbean, to me, speaks very powerfully about Caribbean unity. But you tell us about this.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. A great morning to you. A great morning to you, Sir Charles, and a great morning to Radio Land, out there, New Era Radio TT. Caribbean allure, Caribbean essence. For me, the best feeling in the world would be when you actually get to the sea and you're barefoot, walks across the sand, and the first moment of impact that your foot touches the water. It's something I've experienced many, many times, but I've never ever been able to properly describe how it impacts me. To me, that's the Caribbean essence. And for us, Vibes Caribbean, we believe that experience is one of the greatest things that people come back for when we break it down to them in conversation. The slang, the seasoning palette, the flavor palette that we have in the Caribbean, all these different things that make people leave the coal to come visit us every opportunity they get. And those who leave always want to come back, Cascadura or not.
Stick a pin right there, Adrian, because I really loved your introduction. Walking across the sand until your feet touches the water. Water, Adrian, is such a powerful symbol. Water is about cleansing. It is about satisfaction. You know, you always associate water and thirst, that kind of a thing. And the water is what links all of the Caribbean islands. I always like to say that because we have this system in our minds that we geographically, that we are a chain of islands separated by water. And I'm amazed that people keep making that statement. That is separation. How are we going to be a one Caribbean when we have this separation in our minds? We are separated by water. No. We are not separated by water. We are linked by water. We are linked together by water. And we have to see that water as the unifying force, because there's so much in that. But let me not go down that road too far. It's just that when you introduce your topic so well, with the touching of your feet on the water and the emotions that evoked, I just wish that all Caribbean people have a similar experience. You go ahead now with your culinary delights.
You did present it really well. I would say the importance of us understanding who we are as a people, the Trinbagonian, the Guyanese, the Antiguan, we're all Caribbean. And I love the intro in the film, the short film that Kess and Voice did, where they used Minshall speaking about, I am a Caribbean. It's very, very powerful. I really love it. A Caribbean is an ode to the original indigenous people, Amerindians, who were here when Columbus was looking for the path to the East Indies, the spice route. And being a Caribbean is so much more than being a Trinidadian or Tobagonian or West Indian. No, we are Caribbean. Let's celebrate these first people, these indigenous people who found here first. Caribbean for me is that flavor, it's that music, it's that voice, it's that vibes, that energy. That's what we attempt to curate and bring to life for the discerning audiences of the world with Vibes Caribbean.
Vibes Caribbean. All right. Vibrations. Well, you know, in the beginning there was a vibration, eh? But let me not go down that road here for in the beginning there was a vibration, I tell you, and the heart beats and the soca vibes are there, and it's a true vibe. It's a really powerful experience. You know, I always remember the calypso. I can't remember the name of the calypso, but in the calypso it talks about how when Australians come to this lovely isle, all right, that it blows their mind so much that it'd be a better sweet life next year. They're going to come back with a wife. I don't know if you remember that particular calypso. I think I gave it.
Portrait of Trinidad.
Portrait of Trinidad?
Yeah.
Wow. But we really have to big up the richness and the wealth. You know, I keep using those words interchangeably, but it is really wealth, you know, because Riches follow wealth. Yeah. In the same way that matter follows energy. Energy is the source, and energy generates matter. And in the same way, wealth, which has to do with our relationships with each other. And you know, our relationships with each other is determined by our relationship with ourselves, our perception of who we are, our understanding that we were made affluent, that we are priceless. Well, you know, that's my favorite theme now, 110% priceless. And as we recognize our own value, it frees us up to acknowledge and embrace the value of our fellow Caribbean people. Yes, as a starting point. The other them could come in afterwards, you know, the European and whatever, and thing there, even the African, of where we have strong roots. But it is understanding our innate value that enables us to have this vibe, this Caribbean vibe. You know, you can remember ever do you remember meeting somebody? It might be for the first time, and afterwards you say, boy, I get real bad vibes from that person. All right. It wasn't anything tangible, it wasn't anything you could put your finger on, but the encounter left you feeling a kind of how, as we say. All right. As opposed to you meet somebody else and there's an immediate connection. All right. Powerful vibes that connect and resonate. You know, that's one of my other favorite words, resonate. So tell me about Vibes Caribbean and how you plan to make those vibes resonate, especially in the context of Carnival 2026.
Of course, so Vibes Caribbean is a socially conscious Caribbean diasporic business hub designed to bring together the different people of the Caribbean throughout the diaspora.
Let me highlight what you just said. A diasporic business hub. I love it. I love the term. A diasporic business hub. Business hub. Hey, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So the people can celebrate each other and be supported, and you're never anywhere that you do not have a Caribbean who can support you, who can guide you and tell you, hey, you could go in that area. Just don't go after 9 p.m. Hey, this is where you get the best roti. This is where you get the shadow benny. This is where you get a Trini accountant. So you can create that community, a borderless community that you can access each other's knowledge base and network and help each other grow together and have a better experience. So the less time you're spending busy, everyone is busy these days. That word would win road march every single day. Instead of being busy, you have time for the other things in life that are of value. Your peace of mind, your health, being your wealth, and of course your family. And in my case, my tummy as well. So with Vibes Caribbean, our flagship project would be called Experience Cultivate. It's a culinary and cultural showcase, which is a 12-month journey through Trinidad and Tobago, packaged as a 6-hour event experience. It's held on Ash Wednesday, when Trinidad will have its largest number of visitors.
I think you should say that again. The whole bit about the 6 hours and things.
Imagine you have a 12-month journey through Trinidad and Tobago. You get to spend 12 months in Trinidad, from Christmas through to Diwali. You can experience all of the culture, all of the cuisine, all of the arts, all of the entertainment. You can get 12 hours in one 6-hour event experience. That's worth more than one airline ticket can possibly give you, even in first class. So that's what we are doing. We are looking for the cultured and the culture curious would be interested in having those experiences. You can get the carnival plus experience for Trinidad, more than just carnival. What makes carnival so powerful? The percussive influence of the music, the African drumming, the East Indian drumming, our flavor palette through Asia and Africa and the Americas. What makes Shadow Benny make the difference in what it is that we're doing? Why we have the hottest pepper and the hottest mouth. All of these experiences as a complement rather than a competitor to the carnival experience.
All right. So how exactly is it structured? How and where is it going to be? And is there a cost and stuff like that?
So the event will be held on Ash Wednesday at the Millclare Heritage Site. That's the third building of the Magnificent Seven on Queen's Park West, St. Clair, Port of Spain, in Trinidad on Ash Wednesday.
So it's an Ash Wednesday event.
It's on Ash Wednesday, yes. So you have cool down events. Now we are proposing that we do a vibe across event. From the Savannah, you vibe across to us and you spend from one Trinidad Carnival experience, you have Carnival Plus, would be the cultural showcase of Trinidad.
All right.
And
so what's on the menu? What's on the menu?
The menu for culture, the menu for cuisine.
Well, both.
All right. So the foods that you know Trinidad to be when you go away that people ask for, or the foods when you return that you want first of all, if you're not into the fast food too much. So you're going to have the curry, you're going to have the African cuisine, you're going to have the Spanish cuisine and French cuisine. All of these that make up our heritage, that makes us who we are. Pastel alongside Polori, the Christmas music, the para, the ham and hops, the black cake, the sorrel, the ginger beer of Christmas. Going through the year and getting oil down all the way until you get right down to Diwali, the curry and a fig leaf. This is the rich heritage of Trinidad and Tobago that we have here. That is our wealth. That is driving our carnival and has been sidelined because we are spending too much time on our devices and not celebrating our own special devices.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts about using these devices to promote the Caribbean man? I mean, because you're talking about being Caribbean, and of course, I think about Black Stallion immediately. All right, the Caribbean man, and I'm just wondering what you think. What kind of opportunities do you think that the technology provides us with that we didn't have before to really celebrate and extend the influence of this tremendous Caribbean experience that is ours, that is who we are?
The digital age is here. We are never going back to anything else. What I am most interested in is the connection economy and how we use the digital age that we're in currently to create and maintain that connection economy. You spoke at the start of the program about the Caribbean being connected by the sea as opposed to separated by the sea. I fully agree with that. How do we do that? How do we convince the other islands peoples that we are one of them? Be still outside of cricket, one of them. We all are Caribbeans. The carnival character, the baby doll that we have in our Trinidad carnival, came to Trinidad via Martinique but originated in the New Orleans Mardi Gras, appearing 100 years before it arrived in Trinidad. We can own the baby doll character, but do you know that story? This is verifiable. Find these things out, and then you understand why we are more connected than we are divided, or we should be. We have more in common. Open these conversation doors to our Caribbean peoples.
So,
When we
so
call
when you talk,
Caribbeans with vibes, we call them Vibians. Our people are Vibians.
Vibian.
people with
All
vibes.
right. So you coin a new word there. That is real. You're being a true Trini there. Vibians. I like the sound of it. I like how it rolls off of my tongue. But when you talk about the connection economy, it makes me think immediately of the CSME. What are the similarities or differences between the Caribbean single market economy, which we know as the CSME, and this connection economy that you are speaking? Between you and me, I think that the term a connection economy is a more powerful, is a vocally and audibly more powerful way to speak of the CSME. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
From my non-economist, non-political career, the CSME would be great. While the economists and the politicians formulate that plan to make it actionable and roll it out, why don't we do it as a people? Why don't we speak to each other, our digital creators, connect with our cultural creators, connect with our artists, with our sculptors, with our painters, with our culinary artists, and create the communities that we can support each other. That the money is not what we are looking for. We think that is money we are looking for. We are looking for peace. We are looking for peace. And we can get that through the connection economy. So CSME, I applaud it. We look forward to it being realized successfully. In the interim, we as a people, we came from the Gaia, where when a family was building a house a long time ago, the entire community came together to help them finish that house. The males would work on the heavy lifting, the females would work on the cooking. So everyone worked together and that house was finished in record time. Just proposing we look at that as a model right now in the fluctuation and all of the volatility that's happening regionally and internationally. At how we, instead of look at how much bigger we can get, we can see how much smaller we can get, have the minimum viable audience that we need for businesses to operate successfully. And you can pay more attention to this customer of yours. Bring more value to them, they give you more value.
So, what do I get out of attending and participating in the Cultivate experience? Cultivate TNT. I notice the Cultivate have two T's in it, just like one era TT. New era TT radio.
I wonder which one got it first. Which one did that TT first?
I don't know. I'm not getting into that. The TT was always there.
Yes. TNT
TT is what everything flows through and out from.
Yes. So Cultivate is a celebration of the rich Trinbago heritage experience, the culture, the cuisine, the arts, the entertainment, the four strongest pillars of our tourism industry. And on Ash Wednesday, you can get musical performances in soca, chutney, parang, live performances, tassa, rhythm section. complementing that music would be the food, the Christmas food, the East Indian cuisine, the Chinese cuisine, the African cuisine, the Spanish cuisine, all of that makes our rich cosmopolitan islands the cultural capital of the Caribbean. You have artists, different talents in painting, in sculpting, in drawing. We have the multidisciplinary artist, Patrick Roberts. We have the multiple disciplinary artist, Dave Cooper, who we expect to come on and share some really awesome work that he's doing that would benefit the community once it happens. I'm looking forward to that. All of these artists, the culinary artists, the graphic artists, the imaginations of these people, we can showcase as a virtual studio on Ash Wednesday. And that's the idea, open the conversations around business being more closely connected, to the culture of the country. So the different teams that we have, the national teams, the community teams, they have less problem getting support because you identify with your own. These are your people. They support those businesses support those teams and those endeavors. We are better connected. That's the connection economy that we're speaking of. I am a Vibian and I look forward to the Caribbean having that Caribbean energy and that Caribbean connection.
All right. So in terms of the physical layout of the event, is it that like we're going to be sitting down in rows and chairs and rows looking at a stage and somebody on a stage?
No, man, that's a concert. We entertain. Caribbeans entertain differently. Our concerts are a little different. It's multisensory and it's immersive cultural experiences. So you cross the gateway and you enter the event. You have the different characters that we have in our folklore and our carnival characters. Caribbean carnival and Caribbean folklore characters that are present there. You have the food being prepared. You are sampling the food while the digital content is running on screens and the characters remain performing close by. So you have an edutainment experience, education that is more palatable, a form for you to indulge in. And that helps you learn, that helps you retain. So you may know about the folklore characters, the Sukunya, the Papapoa, the Laja Blast, but have you seen them properly and can you properly educate someone on what they are when you get a chance? Let's try to do that. Let's try to celebrate all these different things that make our people unique. That's what we're doing at Cultivate. You get to experience the visual, the multi-sensory immersion.
So
to see it, to hear it, to feel it.
Multi-sensory immersion. I like how them words sung in. I'm just wondering if I could capture it in one word that we all familiar with. You know what that word is? Well, two words really. A lime. A lime is it a massive lime on Ash Wednesday at Millfleur?
That's right. It's a lime for everything that we have in Trinidad. There's something someone is going to enjoy. It doesn't matter if you want power from Christmas, you'd have missed it or not been able to go out for it. Carnival, there's some of that because Trinidad is carnival. We are carnival. Throughout the year, Trinidad has two seasons, and it's not the rainy and the dry season. So yes, you have the food, you have the entertainment, you have the music, you have all of this experience on Ash Wednesday. The Trini line. Tobago, I miss not to mention Tobago. They're different experiences that also complement what we do on the Big Island.
Well, and I was watching, like I said, I was saying earlier, I was watching this show on TTT last night, and part of it was an interview with minstrels, and it was quite interesting to find out the background story of the origins of minstrels and stuff. And I mean, I've been around here quite a little while, and I have seen the minstrels on Carnival days and so on. One of the many unique elements of the mix that is Carnival. But it was interesting to find out about the costuming and about its origins. Apparently, they had some kind of a German influence in it. I wasn't aware of that before. When I thought minstrels, I thought more kind of a Latin and Spanish origins. But apparently, there's some German roots that are involved. So I raise that because I'm wondering how an event like Cultivate could filter down into the society, and in particular, filter and impact upon the education content and system that we have here in Trinidad, which I feel needs serious reworking, restructuring. Because we have vehicles, in my mind, which can communicate much more powerfully than the traditional modus operandi that you find in the education system. I mean, we came through that system and we benefited from it tremendously. So I'm not knocking the system. I'm just saying that there's a gap, there's an absence in the system, a critical absence, because it is about our understanding that who we are and what we have is of great value, is at least of equal value to the other cultural forms and norms which we encounter in the process of becoming an educated person. What's your thought?
A lot has changed, both in the world and the audience. So the education system has to adapt not only to where we are currently, but the direction that we are going. It has to face and feel that way. And you are going to struggle to connect with someone who does not understand you and you do not understand them. It does not have to be that difficult. We have to find a way to work together. And that's the idea with Cultivate, finding more of the commonalities in our community, among the different communities. What makes the Tassa drum so resonant with people who aren't from an East Indian background, and likewise with the African drumming or the rhythm section with other cultures. We have similarities. Let's find the similarities and double down on these similarities and see that person may not look like me. They may be from a different community from where I grew up, but I see their difference. I see their difference as something to be okay with, because we also have these similarities that bind us.
Yeah, so it's a great mix. So Cultivate. What is the I didn't get the time. I know it is on Wednesday, on Ash Wednesday. It's running from when to when?
So it would be from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. So you get daytime and nighttime. We try to sit and think of everything that would be appealing to different audiences and give them a little bit of each. So you're getting the different experiences, those who want to dress up and look nice in the day and get home early, get their share, and those that want to come out in the night hours and get some of those vibes, those nighttime energies as well. They get to enjoy the experience likewise.
So in a sense, it's a last lap after last lap.
Yes, that too.
It's the last lap.
Yes. A cure for the common carnival.
A cure for the what?
It's a experience cultivated. It's a cure for the common carnival.
Okay, a cure for the common carnival. That's an interesting concept. Where you think that are from? The cure for the carnival, for the common carnival. Well, it doesn't look as if Dave is going to make it today. Something that may have occurred and he wasn't able to get through. But I am keenly interested. How much do you know? Give us a little background on Dave. How well do you know Dave and what he does? Tell us something about him.
Dave is great. Dave does decors for events. Dave does painting. He does music. I don't know what Dave does not do, to be quite honest. Dave has a cultural initiative called the Wireman Initiative that he is introducing to schools level audiences to have them learn to do wire bending. As someone as creative as him, he's figured out a way to make wireman figurines in a minute or less.
Wow.
And have these people.
I would like to see that. If you was here that time, do one for me now.
So I've seen him do it. Like, right in an interview, he's doing it and answering your questions and do it one time and get it out there really quickly. And he would be one of the offerings that we have. That Wireman Initiative would be one of the offerings that we are having on Ash Wednesday at Experience Cultivate. He's also doing a short program during the carnival season for students, for primary school students, to learn how to do the Wireman figurines. And this is something that they can make. Adults to children can find joy in it. I've seen children doing it. I've seen adults doing it, and it works. His wiremen, they can then be sold. These children can learn entrepreneurship from an early age, or just tap into their creative selves that may not be getting enough time or enough attention, and build confidence with these future entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I'm wondering now if I could bend wire. If I could attend perhaps one of the classes that sessions that Dave conducts, because
see, first time people do it within minutes. You have the man, the figurines with the head, the body, the arms, and the legs, and then they attach a steel pan or something like that, and you already have a little memento for carnival or something that a tourist can pay for and feel happy parting with their money while the wire vendor gets their value in revenue.
Yeah.
So fair trade.
I would have liked to have heard some of the history, of wire bending, what were the origins, who were some of the people who really made their name in the area of wire bending.
May I, sir?
Sure, by all means.
Then come to Experience Cultivate on Ash Wednesday, and we'll help you with that.
Ah, boy. All right, I take it. I hear you, and I hope all our listeners are paying attention, that one of the many experiences, apart from the food, well, Adrian, we like with food, eh? So food is basic, and I feel that our food will make the traditional fast food that we have, been so inundated with look stupid. All right, our food offers such a fantastic variety of options in terms of the taste buds. It's unbelievable. But in addition, we're saying that in addition to the food and the company, we also have opportunities to learn something, as Spangalang used to say, to learn something. And something that for those who have a mind, they can actually take and work with it at home and build a business around it, because anytime we create the market, Adrian, then no one person would be able to supply that market. You would have to have a variety of people with their own particular styles, all right, and emphases that will be generating these figurines and other stuff. And because I'm sure that the wire bending is not limited to figurines. Yes?
Once you tap into that creativity, what's stopping you? It's just imagination that is now meeting your confidence.
Uh-huh.
So by all means, go ahead and explore your mind. What comes up? That's how we are with generative AI. That's where we are right now with this digital space that we are in right now.
All right.
So,
all right. So I don't know, Sir Charles, we have about 10 minutes again to go. You opening up the lines? I don't know. I would like to get some people.
Yeah, well, we always have that available to us. So people who would like to get in on the conversation, they would like to hear more about what Cultivate is about and these descriptives that Adrian comes up with. I must say, I'm always looking forward to see what's the next one he's going to come up with.
Edutainment, boy. Edutainment.
Yes.
I love it.
Toastmaster near you, Sir Charles. You should find a Toastmaster near you.
Maybe so. So people join us on the show. Call us at 281-1315. That's 281-1315.
Yeah. I really am fascinated with the idea of how our carnival can provide opportunities for education that resonate with our young people and that will enable them to have a greater sense of self and a greater sense of their value and a greater sense of the island, the nation that they are a part of, that they are a critical part of. Because, Sir Charles, I have been talking about come 2050, yes? And it is now 2026. So in 25 years again to 2050, it's 24 years and counting and discounting maybe, all right, to 2050. And I want to keep in people's minds the idea of creating a vision for what they want to see our nation looking like, tasting like, feeling like come 2050. So, given that, the concept of cultivate, I find, fits beautifully into that mold. And I would certainly hope that, people will come and get that immerse themselves in that immersive experience, because there's no question about it in my mind that education has to play a key part of wherever we want to be come 2050. And education, is not, we have a concept of education about learning stuff, learning, almost cramming for some people, just inputting information into our brains. And I feel here we are on the cusp of expanding that definition, where we are saying education is about having experiences that you will never forget. Yeah? And for those experiences to reveal stuff that was always there, gems that were always there, but which we were not particularly sensitive to. So, Adrian, Vibes Caribbean, is there anything else apart from Cultivate that you have in terms of Vibes Caribbean? I'm very curious about the music aspect of Vibes Caribbean.
So
we put you on the spot there.
No, not at all. So the Caribbean music that we have, it's fun music, it's happy music. The soca came from calypso. The parang that we have came from Venezuela with the Spanish influences, the mandolin that we have as well. We also have the sitar that came from East India. We have the only musical instrument produced in the 21st century as a native, as a homegrown. This is what a celebration of Trinidad pride, Trinidad treasure chest looks like. And we're just putting it together on Ash Wednesday for our returning nationals and our nationals who were just born somewhere else. Those people with the vibes, the Vibians. A celebration of Trinidad culture, a celebration of Trinidad cuisine. Cultivate culture and cuisine showcase.
Culture and cuisine. That flows nicely off the tongue. So that is all key elements of this diasporic event. I had to come back to that word. This diasporic experience that is ahead of us. Yes? To just cap off the whole carnival experience. Yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like to talk to us about in that context?
Yes, sir. Also, the proceeds from the event, 25% proceeds, as everything we do with Vibes Caribbean, goes to charity. We support the Hope Floats Foundation, which raises funds for various causes already identified within our network. And 75% of the proceeds from the event, as with anything that Vibes Caribbean does, goes toward building our social enterprise Caribbean diasporic network. So we can have more partners, we can get better data captured, we can better understand our audiences, and we can better respond to their needs, both domestically, regionally, and internationally.
Okay, I am wondering if there are any plans for exporting Cultivate. Because after the carnival here in Trinidad, we have given birth to, I very often say that one of our biggest exports from which we make no money is our carnival. Because every other carnival throughout the Caribbean and further afield, and you see, I'm not just thinking about the Caribbean, I'm also thinking about further afield. Are there plans for Cultivate in that kind of a context?
Yes, sir. So proving this on the home ground with our home audience, we do it well enough and we have the right partners. This can be replicable in different territories. We have the concept and we're ready to go with it. So finding the right partners who are attracted to this sort of experience, we hope to introduce these conversations at the Experience Cultivate event. And we have partners that are helping us in that. The visionary concept would be one of those partners. Bermuda's Biscuits would be one of those. Hybrid Theory, which would be Dave Cooper, would be one of those. So many, too many to mention. But Visionary Concepts would be our digital partner, one of our digital partners, in ensuring that the experiences that we're making reach to the intended audiences the way that they should.
All right. I just got a little message from Dave there, apologizing. He got stuck at the bank. Nothing that he could have done about it. But we will have him back, and we'll probably have you back as well, Adrian. But I know it's heading straight toward the news hour at midday. So I want to thank our audience for listening, and certainly we would like to hear from you. You can get me on WhatsApp at 680-3185. That's 680-3185. Look forward to hearing from you, Caribbean people.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Garth, and thank you very much, Adrian, for being on the platform. In between here, people wanted to stay with us. We have our news that is straight ahead, and this has been Every Cent Counts.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now for Monday, the 26th of January, on New Era TT Radio and Guy L Caribbean TV. I'm Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. The father of Joshua Samaru is accusing police of murdering his son following the release of CCTV footage of a police-involved shooting in Valsayn. Christopher Samaru spoke hours after video showed his son's car crashing into a drain, moments before officers opened fire, killing Joshua and critically injuring his partner, Kaya Seeley, who is now paralyzed. Samaru said the footage shows his son with both hands outside the vehicle and questioned why police did not issue instructions before shooting. The Police Complaints Authority has launched an independent investigation, while Police Commissioner Alistair Gavaro maintains officers were involved in an exchange of gunfire during a high-risk pursuit. The Police Social and Welfare Association is urging restraint as investigations continue. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar says regional corporations will not receive any additional funding, insisting that the current $2.1 billion allocation is sufficient. She was responding to complaints from PNM-controlled corporations, including Port of Spain, which warned that budget cuts could disrupt services such as garbage collection and Carnival 2026 preparations. In a Facebook post, Prasad Bisesar blamed poor management and low productivity, saying taxpayers fund more than 13,000 local government workers but receive inconsistent service. She warned that future funding will depend on performance over the next 8 months and signaled possible outsourcing and mechanization. Diego Martin Mayor Acalia Glasgow Warner rejected the claims, accusing the government of politically skewed funding that favors UNC-controlled corporations. As local government elections approach, calls are growing within the People's National Movement for political leader Penelope Beckles to be more decisive and assertive. The criticism follows the PNM's total defeat in the Tobago House of Assembly election, where all 15 seats were lost to the Tobago People's Party, marking the party's second major electoral setback in 9 months. Senior party figures and political analysts say Beckles must shed political baggage, strengthen her team, and inject more energy into her leadership to rebuild support. While some insiders question her decisiveness and public presence, others within the PNM defend her measured approach, saying the party is in a rebuilding phase and remains capable of recovery. The government's decision to fast-track its migrant registration exercise has caused confusion among migrant communities, but human rights advocates say the process is not a trap. Venezuelan activist Yesenia Gonzalez says the initiative should be seen as a temporary regularization program, allowing undocumented migrants to come forward without fear of arrest or prosecution. Registration begins January 26th at designated stadiums across Trinidad and Tobago, with approved applicants receiving legal authorization to live and work until December 31st. Gonzalez stressed that eligibility is not based on nationality and applies to migrants without valid status who pose no public safety risk. Advocacy groups are urging migrants to register, saying the process offers legal protection and access to essential services. In regional news, since the United States operation that led to the arrest of Venezuela's ousted president Nicolas Maduro, Trinidad and Tobago has appeared increasingly out of step with parts of the Caribbean. The government's public support for U.S. military action in the southern Caribbean and Venezuela, along with Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar's description of CARICOM as an unreliable partner, fueled speculation that the country had strained regional ties. However, CARICOM Chair and St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew has dismissed claims of regional suspicion, insisting there is no suggestion within the bloc that Trinidad and Tobago was involved in Maduro's detention. Drew said TNT remains an important CARICOM member and stressed that the bloc's response to the incident was reached by consensus, reaffirming principles of sovereignty, non-interference, and diplomacy. He also rejected talk of any CARICOM breakup, saying no member state is threatening to leave the regional grouping. Finally, in international news, U.S. federal authorities say Alex Preddy was carrying a firearm and 2 loaded magazines when he was shot and killed by federal agents during an enforcement operation in Minneapolis. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham defended the officer's actions, saying an armed individual attempting to obstruct a lawful arrest creates a recipe for disaster. While affirming the right to protest, Graham said no one has the right to interfere with law enforcement, warning that bringing a loaded gun to such situations can have fatal consequences. However, BBC Verify, after analyzing multiple videos of the incident, reports that Preddy appeared unarmed at the moment he was shot, after agents had wrestled him to the ground. Footage shows an officer removing what appears to be a firearm from Preddy's waist just before shots were fired. Preddy, a 37-year-old intensive care nurse, has since been remembered by colleagues and neighbors as kind, non-violent, and deeply troubled by U.S. immigration policies. And that's the main stories at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with new Era TT Radio, Net Radio,